All right, testing 1, 2. Let's see if this is working on my streaming channel here. I can get some sound out of this. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Can I see it? Can I see it? Stick with me here, folks. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's go here, see if we can find it. Is it going live on YouTube? That's the question. That's the question. Yes, yes. I just seen it. It does say live. All right, so let's check this out. Okay. I always like to check it before I start. Okay, first of all, it doesn't look anything like I'm seeing here as far as the video on Streamlabs OBS, which is what I'm using. So I've got to bump up some saturation here and hide that LUT and see if that's going to help. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so I can hear that. I need to mute it, make sure this is going to work. I don't know why. Oh yes. Yeah, we got to bump that up a little more. Okay, it looks better without the LUT. So we're going to go up probably about 15% saturation, and that's probably going to be good enough. Okay, so, it looks terrible on the screen right now that I'm seeing, but that's all right. So we're just going to leave it on this screen for now. Welcome everybody that may be watching this later on. I've been wanting to do a live stream on here for ages, but I just haven't been able to because I've been so backlogged with a bunch of things. Looks like I got 3 viewers, so that's awesome. Thanks to everybody watching. Right, so I don't see. Okay, so I can keep track of both of these. So yeah, we're going to be doing some talking today. This is a talking live stream, so if you want to watch this later on, then make sure to fast forward it. Not fast forward it, but use the little thing down here on the YouTube player, the little wheel. Just adjust the playback speed to about 1.5, and you should be able to speed through this like nobody's business. I'm anticipating this to be about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So I'm going to try to keep it kind of quiet too, because the baby is upstairs sleeping. So this live stream is all about this channel moving forward, some other goals and directions I have, ideas about moving forward, and I'll update it later on with chapters and things like that, and probably a new thumbnail. I just need a placeholder for now because I didn't think about this in advance other than making some show notes. All right, so just kind of going by an outline rather than winging it. But first of all, Happy New Year to everybody, and I hope everybody's having a good New Year. So far, it's 2023. Big surprise. It came, to be honest with you, it didn't come fast enough, but it did come nonetheless. As far as the YouTube channel goes, I've got some ideas here that I'm going to go over. And I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody has some goals and things like that in place and has an idea of where they're wanting to go for this coming year. And really, you want to start planning about that in December, but that's okay. You still have time. It's January. You can take some time and reflect on what you've done in the past with the last year and what you want to do this year. As far as Christmas, we had a great Christmas. Had a bunch of different Christmases we went to. I got an Amazon gift card of $25. My wife bought me this brand new bracelet. Okay, that's pretty cool. This one right here. It's got the Lord's Prayer and a cross, and I've been wearing bracelets a lot more lately, so that was pretty cool. She got me that. Let's see what else. We got some cool candy from my brother here. and homemade candy. Really good stuff. I'll probably be munching on that here in a little bit. Just some other stuff. I bought myself some Christmas gifts. Obviously, you know those will be appearing on the stream on the channel before long. I'll go into depth about that. But anyway, let's go ahead and start talking about. I'm going to keep up with the chapters and everything as I go along, so I don't have to go back and backtrack. So at 5:40, I've done this before. 5:40 something. We're going to be talking about. Let's see. Let's just call it 5:50. 0550. All right. If I get the space right. 006 by this point. Yes, 6. 06 minutes. If I get the time right. Okay. Is that right? 0615. Why not? Okay, now we're on to it. All right, so let's talk about some initial thoughts that I have about my channel here. Okay. Here's what the channel's been about up to now. All right, so I've kind of did a timeline here. I started the channel in 2007, right? And from 2007, about 2008 is when I got really serious about my skills at bluegrass guitar. Up to that point, I had been kind of doing some lessons and learning just different all kinds of acoustic guitar and things like that. But I really got serious when I had the opportunity to join and kind of found a band called Wilder Mountain. And I really wanted to get my chops together so that I would be, I was all about trying to be professional and trying to do the best that I could, which I have been since I've been playing. I mean, I want to do the best that I can. But about 2008 onwards, until about 2015, really, my focus mainly for this channel has been bluegrass guitar. And it was about 2015 that I released Bluegrass Guitar Essentials. And as many of you know, afterwards came Bluegrass Guitar Arpeggios, which was the advanced course. Bluegrass Guitar Essentials is more the intermediate one. And then Bluegrass Beginner Bluegrass Guitar came after that. Those are all available, by the way, on my website at ericbeatty.com/courses if you're interested in those. So through that whole time, I'd been creating bluegrass tutorials on YouTube and creating bluegrass courses as well. So it was around 2012 when I made Texas Blues Guitar, or now I call it Secrets of Texas Blues Guitar, that course. And so up until that point, it's all been about guitar, but mostly acoustic guitar, because that's mostly what I was into, mostly what I wanted to play, especially bluegrass. Did it about 2015 until about 2019, I would say. So 4 years or so, it was about writing. In 2015, I really got the writing bug bad. Short story, back in 2009, I did my first NaNoWriMo event, and that stands for National Novel Writing Month. You can find more about that by going to nanowrimo.org. And I entered my first NaNoWriMo competition and won. And that was a big deal for me, because up to that point I've been writing in journals, kind of experimenting with some short stories and doing some writing prompts in other books that I had written, or other books that I had purchased on this thing, on writing, and got really into it. And so during that period, I'd won and to win an NaNoWriMo, basically all you do is you write 50,000 words, okay? And that could be any part of your novel. That could be your notes, that could be comments to yourself in your novel. Any words count pretty much, as long as they're not typed beforehand or created beforehand. They have to be started on day one, which is always November 1st of NaNoWriMo. It's a full month of writing a novel. And so I completed that, and then about 2015, it really got to me that I hadn't completed the actual editing of the novel. I wanted to publish it. And so what I did was I continued to edit, and I'd put it back, and then I'd get my mind on other things, guitar stuff, music stuff, put it back, edit a little bit more, and just back and forth and all that. And I've done that ever since. And so in 2015, I wanted to try to complete another NaNoWriMo. And just to get serious about it, I started by buying Scrivener, and just I think it was the fall or winter, early winter of I think it was fall, about October of 2014, because 2014, because I wanted to get serious about it, and started using Scrivener, which I love. working with. There's some stuff on my website about that. I've done some stuff here on YouTube about it too. And then the next year, I joined in 2015, early 2015, I joined like 2 writers groups, and I think another writers group soon after that, maybe a year after that, maybe the same year, I don't remember. But I'd really gotten heavy into writing short stories and in competitions, things like that. And so YouTube, for me, during that time, was more focused on writing and my progress in writing until about 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Now, you could go back and look at all my history and things like that on when the release dates were and see what kind of videos I was making. I never really stopped making any guitar videos, but the focus kind of shifted. And then in 2019 to about 2021, I've discovered that I really focus more on gear demonstrations and reviews, as well as more electric guitar focused things. I was getting into JTC a lot. 2020 came around, the big pandemic hit, you know what I'm talking about. I was able to get some lessons with Marcos Foley, my favorite guitar player at the time, and still is right now. So I was able to do that, and started working on getting my chops for electric guitar up to speed. You know, I focused on bluegrass guitar for a long time, and so now it was time that I felt like I wanted to gear towards electric guitar stuff. Okay, so I started working on those and the chops for that, and so I was working on gear demos and electric guitar. Okay, also 2019 was when my mom passed away suddenly, and that was a big blow to me mentally, and just it's been hard ever since. And so I don't want to go into big detail about that, but that's another reason I'm kind of changing. I don't want to reevaluate all this YouTube stuff and all this creativity stuff and kind of get my head clear about that. And so 2021, basically up until that time, until now, and my wife's taking care of the baby. I hope I didn't wake him up by my talking. I'm trying to keep it down. So 2021 till now, I basically rebranded the channel to The Creative Guitarist, because that's when I came up with and came out with and released my guitar course of the same name, The Creative Guitarist. And also, it was about the time, about 2019 and 2021, that I was working on really getting my debut album out there, which is almost done. Okay, one more track in the official track, and it will pretty much be done. So that was also around that time. So up to now, I've been working on the creative guitarist things and aspect of things, but I still find myself working on like gear review videos and things that are kind of, you know, I have to push some other ideas back because I feel like I have to, you know, follow the algorithm and all this stuff, and we'll get into a little bit of that later. But that's what this channel has been up to until now. Okay, so as I said, I started, I think it was back in April, according to YouTube. April of 2007 is when I launched this channel. So when YouTube was very new. I believe I was probably one of the first. I feel like I'm one of the first people that were on it. But now the channel is over a decade old. Okay, so 2017, it was a decade old. 2022, that means it was 15 years old. So it's upwards of over 15 years old now, almost. Or actually, it is over 15 years old, I believe. So in that time, it's been kind of, other than guitar, it's been hard to kind of find a niche. And I know as a person and as a creative, we want to try to evolve. We want to try to get better, and our interests change. Our, you know, our ideas change of what we'd like to do and the directions we'd like to go. There's not many times that I've got on this channel and kind of said, well, we're changing directions, or we're doing this, or we're doing that. But I feel like it's time for me to do some things different, some things I'm excited about. Okay, because when I first started YouTube, I was excited about it, and really excited about it, and I want to get that excited again. And when I first started it, guess what? There were no algorithms to worry about. There were no 10-year-old prodigies or people that are 20 years younger than me that were doing all this amazing guitar stuff. Everybody was on a level playing field, and that made it more exciting to be a YouTuber and to be a creative. And so I want that to be the case again. I don't want to have to worry about all these other people. I don't want to have to worry about algorithms. I don't have to worry about, you know, chasing views and things like that. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense, and it would be foolish to kind of ignore some of the SEO stuff and trying to get your descriptions right and all that. But I'm not going to waste my time doing anything more than the basic stuff that I need to, because YouTube doesn't pay my bills. I get just very minimal money for advertising, and I've really never got much of a sales on merchandise or anything like that via YouTube. YouTube has helped lead people to my courses, and that's kind of where that has come from. But I don't think that's been due to me, upping my skills at SEO or upping my skills at, chasing algorithms. I don't keep up with that stuff. And I feel like, to me, that's more than I want to commit to. I want to be a creative. I want to be somebody, because if it excites me, I know it can excite other people. And I'm probably getting to some of my other talking points, but I felt like just kind of winging it right there. All right, so to be honest, we're still in the initial thoughts about my YouTube channel. So like I said, this is probably going to be a longer video. Let's just pause here for a second. Let's check the chat. Nobody's chatting, and I just moved my video around. Didn't even mean to do that. Okay, what's going on here? There we go. Yeah, let me take a second. My mouth is getting dry, so I'm going to pop a piece of this candy here. And I'll probably take some time to take a stand-up break here and there, because I've actually got a app on my computer that helps me remember to take breaks. And so I'll probably stand up from time to time and do some talking there. Let me check the stream, make sure we're still in good condition here. Stream health, excellent. Very good, no activity, anything like that. Hopefully the baby's not disturbing things too bad. The wife's up there kind of taking care of it. Like I said, I'm talking very slow, very, very lowly. And the only thing that should be, he shouldn't be able to hear me at all, really, at this level, because he's got a fan on in his room, okay? So, I'm gonna mute myself, kind of. Okay, I'm still good. All right, so let's go back to where I was. All right, so we're still going down the list here. And once again, if you want to see what I'm seeing, go to that link in the description, the show more area, where I'll show you the show notes and the outline for this stream that I'm working by. Okay, so here's the point we're at right now. I'm no longer hyped about bluegrass. And if I'm telling the truth, I haven't been for a long time. Main reason of this is because I've been playing the stuff for so long. And that's why I kind of gravitated towards electric guitar stuff and hearing more melodies and hearing more things that weren't just standard bluegrassy licks or standard stock licks or whatever. I'm still trying to figure out new things whenever I'm playing with the Gilbert family, or when I'm playing, practicing myself and coming up with other picking solutions and things. Just the other day I was playing around and I found a new little arpeggio I could use with some open strings in it, and I thought that was pretty cool. But that was based on something I've learned from a shred guitar song by Marcos Foley called Still Hurts. And it's really cool how you can transfer some of that stuff over to other genres. So, hopefully, that won't disturb anybody. She's up there working with them right now. So, as far as the bluegrass stuff, I'll still consider bluegrass videos as an option, but they're not going to be the main focus of this channel any longer. And the way I feel about that is there are hundreds, over 800 videos on this channel. And still, even though I've gone on to screencasts, I've gone on to electric guitar stuff, I've gone on to Helix stuff, I've gone on to live streams and vlogs and things like that, still the probably 90%, and I'll be generous, 80% at least, are guitar videos, and most of that is bluegrass guitar. I've got 3 courses dedicated to bluegrass guitar. More than any other courses I have, I've got more bluegrass guitar courses than anything else. I've got more tabs for bluegrass available than anything else. Over the past summer, did a video for Brian Sutton's solo on Think of What You've Done. And you can get that for free. I mean, that's available on YouTube, and there's a link there where you can download it completely free, because I can't charge for it. It's not my song, it's not my solo, but I just wanted to do it to up my skills in guitar transcription for tabs and things like that. So I've been at this bluegrass thing for a long time, okay? I'm by no means the best bluegrass player. I know what I like, I know what I can do, I know what my abilities are and my limits are, and I try my best to work within those and try my best to get better at it. But I have reached a plateau in my own playing, not really playing, but in my own, for lack of a better word, tolerance of bluegrass guitar. And I'm ready to move on to something else. And I have been for a while, and probably those that follow this channel very regularly could probably tell that with the gear review videos and kind of trying to branch out of that. And you know, I still try to sit down and I want to do bluegrass guitar videos and things like that, but I just can't bring myself. I hardly pick up my acoustic guitar except like on Sundays or when I'm playing with the Gilbert family. And we've had a kind of a slowdown ever since COVID, number one, and ever since, you know, usually about fall or you know, late fall, we have a break and don't have any more you know, shows or anything like that until about March. So I haven't picked up my acoustic guitar on a regular basis forever. It's mainly been playing electric guitar. And so, like I said, I'll be considering bluegrass guitar videos, but they will be few and far between. I'll just say that right now. So if you follow this channel for the bluegrass stuff and you subscribe for the bluegrass stuff, there's still plenty of it here, don't get me wrong. You can do a search, you can go to my playlist. There's intermediate bluegrass videos, there's beginner bluegrass videos, there's advanced bluegrass videos, there's random bluegrass videos, Tony Rice bluegrass videos, Brian Sutton bluegrass videos. All this stuff is available. Plus, I feel like I've said all I can say, mostly with bluegrass, through my courses for sure. Beginner bluegrass guitar essentials, and bluegrass guitar arpeggios. Okay, so I've said all I can say. It's all there. If you need bluegrass stuff, it's all there. So I don't want to disappoint those of you that watch this channel for bluegrass, but this channel will no longer be solely and focused on bluegrass. Okay. So right now I'm kind of discovering what the channel will be about moving forward, and we're going to kind of pose some of those ideas here in this live stream. Now, here's how my focus has pivoted, and we're about to get on the first, you know, actual section here in just a little bit. That is not the initial thoughts about my channel. I've got about 5 sections here to go through, and so like I said, grab you a nice hot tea or something, you know, grab you something to tide you over if you want to watch this. So far, I've got 5 viewers. Awesome. Thanks to everybody that's watching. Please feel free to chat. I will be checking that from time to time. I will be checking the stream from time to time. Let me know what you think. Still looks like we're in excellent condition. I can still hear myself, so that's good. Those of you that are hearing me, do you prefer this microphone or this next one I'm about to enable? Here's the other microphone. This is the microphone for the iMac that I'm using. And this is the microphone for the webcam that I'm using. I think the webcam one sounds a little bit less, you know, bassy. So I found that out recently, so I decided to try to do that one this time. But if you prefer one over the other, let me know. Once again, this is the webcam microphone. This is the built-in iMac microphone. Let me know which one you want me to switch to and which one you think sounds better for this channel. Or this stream, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be checking that, and just go ahead, and I'll just go ahead and oh, I don't know what's going on. It's telling me to sign in to chat. I can't use OBS to sign in to chat on my own stream, which is weird. Oh, okay, so feel free to chat amongst yourselves. I'll be checking in from time to time. All right. Let me go ahead and post the courses links so that everybody can go to those if you're interested in doing that. Okay, so that's the chat, so I'm going to move that up here so I can access it a lot easier. Let's do that. Yep. Okay. All right, so how my focus has kind of pivoted. All right. Number one, we have a new baby. Okay, so you probably know about that. I think it was last summer I did a video in the woods or in the park. And the thumbnail is just me sitting down, and you can see the park behind me. You can see trees and everything. And I forget what I call that. It's been a while since I've checked it. But I announced the video. I announced the baby in that video. And I think it was around October, because that's when I found out. So if you'll search, go back in October of my videos, and you should be able to see that video. So we have a new baby. He is just turned 6 months old. He was born July 1st. And so his birthday is easy to remember. It's on the 1st of every month. So he's 6 months, and it has been a big challenge. I mean, it's been stressful, okay, getting used to that. Here I am, 42 years old, just turned 42 in August, and having a kid after being this set in my ways and being this kind of independent and somebody depending on me that much has been really, really hard to get used to. Finally feel like I'm starting to settle in, but there's still some major hurdles to come from what I'm hearing, and I know that. And so that's the big focus now is I've got to take care of this little guy. I'm the stay-at-home dad, okay? My wife works, she's a school teacher, and I stay at home. I try to make a little bit of income that I have available for sale as products and different things like that. But it does not pay the bills anywhere near what she makes. So we've come to the agreement that I'm going to be the stay-home dad. He's going to be my top responsibility, as well as kind of taking care of some chores around the place. And I'm not going to worry about making money. And that's another thing that's been stressful. My focus up to now for years has been make money, make money, make money, pay the bills, pay the bills, pay the bills. And it wasn't so hard when I had a job as a private lessons teacher. But after 8 years of that, I had to leave, because that was really, it started like it was pulling my creativity out of me. It felt like draining me every time I went to lessons, with all the constant rescheduling, with all the constant missed lessons, with all the constant late payments, you know, catering to everybody else's whim, multiple people. It got hard. So I decided it was time to leave so that I could focus on my creativity, and so I could pour out a little bit more and enjoy what I was doing, rather than pouring to other people's creativity and other people's learning. I wanted to start doing that for myself. So that's when I started getting more serious about my, guitar solos, and entering solo competitions, and getting my debut album, and learning mixing and all that stuff. And I've had fun doing that, but like I said, it doesn't pay the bills. I mean, it seems like everything I put my hands to, nothing has really went over the top for me as an entrepreneur. Bluegrass Guitar Essentials did make me like $1,000, over $1,000, like $1,300 in the first 3 days that I launched it, because it was such a great product. It still is. It's still my best-selling product that I've ever had. So, but even that's tapered off, and I don't want to go into ads. I don't want to go into all this extra marketing stuff. I feel like it's kind of had its run. Yes, it's still an awesome product. It still blows many other products out of the water, as far as the amount of content available. I mean, it's 7 discs long, so you won't find much of that on the market, unless it's a specialty niche like that is. But like I said, it's not making the money. So for me, being a stay-at-home dad, we decided, since it's not really making a lot of money, to just kind of relegate it, or I think the word's relegate it to hobby status. Now, for me, I still see it as a business when I make money on different things. But as far as, striving to chase that money and striving to chase all this stuff, I can't be doing that with a baby now. I've got to focus on Him. Okay, so my priorities are shifting. Right, can't do as much due to more responsibility taking care of Him. Like I said, it's more stressful, trying to take care of Him and trying to work my schedule and my things around Him. So I have to be. I'm learning to kind of do a little more with less time, a lot less time. All right, so we're still talking about my focus has pivoted, mainly DJ. That's his name, by the way, Daniel Joseph. Um, I also, focus wise, I also want to get back to having some quiet time at the first part of my day. Okay, I did this for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and it really helped me with my mental outlook. It really helped me with my productivity because I could start the day feeling good, start the day, feeling I was on the same page um, in my walk with the Lord, my relationship with Him. I was on the same page that He wanted me to be on. I had my mind filled with good thoughts. I had my outlook of the day potential. I mean, there was a lot of potential in it. And so I want to get back to having more time for introspection where I can do my Bible studies, my devotions, uh, reading of books that I like to read, different hobbies. Like lately I've took it up sketching a little bit more, just kind of wanting to do something like that because I feel like that's the one thing I could do that I don't have to worry about chasing algorithms or anything like that. And I don't have to worry about monetizing. I just want to do it just for fun. I used to draw a lot when I was a kid. I had but still hit myself over the head this day for getting rid of a collection of art that I did when I was a kid, about 15 years old. And for some reason, I just trashed them all. I guess I was just so fed up with not being able to draw like I wanted to that I got rid of them, most of them. And thankfully, when I went to college in 2000, about 2000, I went for graphic design, graphic arts and design. And um, I was able to take some art classes and build up some more art, which I've never really released because it's not really been a priority. My main priority has been music, and it still is. And sketching for me, I've always wanted to be able to learn how to draw things from memory. Um, and so, anyway, that's one of the hobbies that I've recently taken up again, just for fun and just as relaxing. Things that fill the creative well, in other words. I need more time for that as far as my focus shifting. Like I said, I'm 42 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I'm not getting any younger. Okay, so um, we have a finite amount of time on this earth, and I don't want to spend my 40s worrying and being anxious over chasing algorithms. And I keep saying that because it seems like it's all I ever see anymore is here's what you got to do to have a better YouTube channel. Here's what you got to do to have a better Instagram channel. Oh, here you need to be on TikTok. You need to be doing this. And I'm like, when do you ever not need to be doing something? Okay, because it's always you got to be doing this. You got to be keeping up with the Joneses. And that's just not. Why are you doing that? I mean, you want to blow up as an artist so you can retire and be a multimillionaire and all this stuff. And there's a great story in Tim Ferriss's book, The 4 Hour Work Week, about a guy who's in like I don't remember where it was, but some tropical remote location. And there's this business guy. You have to listen to it or watch it or read it or whatever. But there's this business guy, and he comes and sees this dude kind of laying back in his hammock, just playing his guitar and just relaxing. He's like, man, you really could monetize that. You could be an artist and you could be a best-selling artist with that just so beautiful music if you just do this, this, and this, and this. And long story short, at the end, when he's mentioned all these things, he said, well, why would I want to do all that? Because if you did this, you would be able to retire and move to an island and do whatever you wanted to. He's like, I do that already. Right? So, I mean, if I'm already, free to do all these things, why am I chasing it? If I'm already, yes, I don't have all the money that I like to have. We can't go do all the vacation stuff we'd like to do. We can't eat out all the time like we'd like to. But we have a good life, and I've missed that for so many years with my blinders on, right? So I hope this is helping somebody because I can look back at this and kind of remind myself throughout the year what's really important, okay? So, um, so the last thing I was wanting to do and talk about as far as my focus pivoting, I wanted to get better with my health. So one thing I've started doing lately is taking up walking, not for the sake of walking, not for the sake of exercising, but for mental clarity. And I noticed I went walking probably a month ago and started walking maybe a month, maybe a little over a month ago. and I noticed and I took DJ in a stroller, and I noticed that I had such a better day after that. I mean, I was the most productive I'd been in a long time, even with watching a kid. I just felt energized to do stuff. I just felt, excited about things again. I wasn't stressed out. It seemed like everything I was doing, I had plenty of time for. There was no rush, and that was the boost I needed to help me, kind of say, hey, there's something to this. I mean, I read years ago, and I even read it recently in one of my journals about Charles Dickens, who I think one day he walked 30 miles, and he usually walked about 3 to 5 hours a day. Okay, so one of the most prolific writers of all time, Charles Dickens, walked all the time. Okay, a lot of prolific writers are well known for this. Stephen King is known to take long walks. Many other people are known to take long walks, right? So I thought, well, what could it hurt? I need to get better at my health, and it will help me move around because lately my legs have been getting stiff like crazy. My knees have been getting weak. Every time I stand up, I'm like, I can barely walk. And so I've got to start moving a little bit more. So for me, I'm going to walk some more for mental clarity, and because it gave me that those endorphins and that dopamine hit of, man, I just felt so much better, and I could tackle the day, and I seemed I had all the time in the world. It almost was like I was in that flow state all the time, right? So that's part of it. That's part of how my focus has pivoted into all these areas, right? And so the baby, she just set him down. She just laid him down. I realized. Let me tell you, that kid's got some lungs on him. He does. Okay, so let me take a little break here. Look at the chat. Still no chat. Oh, no viewers at this time, so that's fine. Stick with me here. Oh, I'm going to stand up. Let's do a little bit more of this standing up, okay? I just realized it might be better. Well, no, I don't guess it'll matter. Change the mic because it's going to come through either way. All right. Oh, yeah, my knees. I'm getting older, people. I'm telling you. Just adjust this a little bit more. All right. Whew, mercy sakes. I feel like I need to be. I don't know. Let's go down just a little bit more. What's happening is I push down. The other thing's really. Come on. Work with me. There. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do the timestamp for the next section. 38:15. Okay. Let's save this. So now let's talk about the next thing that I'm thinking about, and that is it's all about my blog and some more writing things. Okay. Now this is not only just for YouTube, but this is also the whole, what I want to do for 2023, right? I think the title of this is, computer's kind of slow here. Give me just a second. All right. Hopefully the stream's still excellent. Are we still excellent stream? Are we still excellent stream? Stream health. Excellent connection. Okay, still good. All right, so this is, like I said, it's 2023 goals, plans, and directions. Not necessarily just for YouTube, but for other things, right? Okay. So as far as, the blog and the writing focus, we're going to use that for this section now. And that is, I've been looking at and rediscovering old journals and old journal entries. And lately I've been typing a lot of those entries into my blog. Things like these. Okay, so go back to my screen so I can see what I'm showing you. So these are two of journals out of many that I have. I've recently been rereading through this one. It's one of my favorite ones that I've done. And as you can see, after accumulating a lot of stuff over time, let's just do that so you can see a little bit better. After a while, you get ideas for content, different things like that. You get ideas for blog posts and ideas for, books or whatever, and you want to share that, right? things that aren't personal or anything like that, just some insights that you gained. You know that other people can benefit from that. And that's what I was talking about earlier about YouTube. I was excited to share things when everything was a level playing field. I'm getting excited to share things again in my journals. And so that's when I really wanted to share, was when most of the time I was learning these things as you were, right? I was learning these things along with you. And so I would want to share those things when I just started on YouTube, and I had, my Fender Malibu guitar, and I was talking real quiet, so I wouldn't disturb the neighbors or whatever. So I found that newfound excitement in some of my old journals, okay? And so a lot of what I want to include in my blog is um, some of those old journal entries and some of those ideas that I had. And I've been wanting to focus more on my blog because my writing bug has come back. I really want to focus on just writing more, just expressing myself more. I've always found that writing is one of my number one ways of, and I've said it for years, music is therapy and writing is therapy, okay? And so to write it down in the journal is awesome, but when you go back and reread it and you're like, oh, I forgot all about that insight, or oh, I never realized that when I wrote it, it just, it's awesome. And so I'd like to share that, and I want to write that on my blog. And my blog is a place that I created just for me in 2014-ish, 2015, around the same time that I want to start writing, the same time that I released Bluegrass Guitar Essentials. All this kind of came to a head. I wanted to shift to writing. That's when my blog was released, okay? So it's getting on up there. It's almost a decade old, right? So I want to also use the blog to release content from past books and stories. So I've been thinking for the longest of maybe doing some excerpts from some of my books. And those of you that followed me back in 2015 to 2017 know that I released a series all about goal setting, okay? And that is Smart Focus, books 1, 2, and 3, okay? These are available on Amazon. You can find those if you just look up Smart Focus by Eric Beatty. I don't have a link to that right now. I don't even know if I'll remember to leave a link, but these books are available. Since it's the first part of the year, why not go check them out, see if you'd like them. They're also available on my blog. You can see them on another store I'll be mentioning later via PayHip. So I've got these available in several places, but most bookstores have them. It's paperback, it's on Amazon and most other places. Since I use I think it's Drafted Digital to distribute all my books, that's that it's available on most platforms, okay? So I thought about just taking some of these, especially this time of year, and kind of reading some excerpts of these, so that you guys can get some benefit from it. You guys can get some ideas from it. These tell about my own journeys and how I was able to create Bluegrass Guitar Essentials. I was able to create different, when I started working on my mixing projects, and how I was able to achieve these goals, and some different systems that you can use for goals. And even my Creative Guitarist, that's the first book that I ever wrote for a course. I mean, there's over 30,000 words of course material in the book alone. And now I've just recently made it available for sale as the book only. If that's what you want, it's available for sale. And you can find that at ericbeatty.com/TCG. Okay. The courses page does not show that, but TCG does. So let me just go ahead and put that into chat, and you guys will be able to see that. Let's see. Let's go here, copy that, paste it here. TCG. That's where you can find out about getting the Creative Guitarist in all its forms. There's 3 different forms, or formats. There's the ebook, there's the course itself, and I think I may have available the course plus a 1-hour consultation. Seems like. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but I think that's the way it works. Let's check this. Started working. Okay, yeah. All right, so like I said, about the blog, it's contents from past books and stories that I'd like to release on the blog, including nonfiction, including some fiction. Like recently, I found several short stories that I had written for a contest that I'd forgotten all about. I was going through Google Docs and kind of searching some stuff, and it come up, and I was like, I totally forgot all about this. And I think it was called the Rider Games. I put word games, but I'm pretty sure it's the Rider Games. I'm going to change that real quick. I think it's called Rider Games. I may post an actual link to that later. But it's called the Rider Games, and they have a short story contest every so often. Maybe it's every year, I don't know. But I found those, I was like, why don't I release those on my blog? You know, I don't have to wait till they're published. I can release them on my blog and publish them later if I want to. I can publish snippets of, you know, stories or books or whatever. So yeah, so that's another thing about the blog that I thought would be good content for that. So what I did yesterday, and I spent mostly all night, no, actually I counted, I spent about 9 hours working on it, and that was updating the About page of my blog. If you go to erickbeatty.com/about, you can find the newly updated for 2023 About page, talking about all that my blog is going to be focused on from this point forward. Okay, so the old one definitely needed updated. It hadn't been updated since I first uploaded the blog, and that was around, or created the blog, and that was around 2014 September. And it really needed an overhaul, so I went ahead and revamped it, and it states everything that the blog is going to be about. So if you're interested in the blog, and maybe you don't want, you know, you're not interested in the YouTube channel, but you want to go to the blog, check it out at erickbeatty.com/blog. Okay, but you can check out the About page and see what everything on that website is going to be about. Okay, erickbeatty.com/about. All right, so also I have something called a Now page, and I thought, you know, instead of typing up my updates all the time or every quarter on this Now page, what I'll probably start doing now is saving all that extra writing for all the fun writing, okay? And what I'll do is I'll use that opportunity to get on YouTube, maybe have a quarterly live stream update. Okay, so that would be like, okay, now instead of typing my updates, I'll be recording them on YouTube and embedding that video on the Now page. So that'll be a lot easier, 2 birds with 1 stone type of thing, repurposing content type of thing, so I don't have to continue to keep writing things out. All right, so that was another idea that I had. I thought that'd be a great opportunity for some more live streams. And I want to finally finish my first novel. Okay, so that's more on the writing focus. I told you already about it, how I started in 2009 and just kept going on and trying to revamp it and everything. I've used something called the Blueprint Your Bestseller method, also called the Book Architecture Method by Stuart Horwitz. Highly recommend that book series, 3-book series. Started with number 1 called Blueprint Your Bestseller, and it's amazing. And if I can think of it, I will leave a link here in the show notes as well. I also wrote, I won 2 additional NaNoWriMos, one in 2015 and one in 2018. So I have 2 other stories that I would like to edit and release, but I have been stuck on this first one. And the reason I have not let it go and I'm not abandoning it is because I want to see how it turns out. I want to see it, these people's stories told. To me, it's such a compelling story, and I want to see it happen. And I've just got to get to the end of it. I've just got to get to editing it, finally finishing it. Okay, and I'd like to do that, even if I have to take 1 month to focus on it. Maybe this year, each month will be a new focus, and I can just focus on getting things done instead of dragging it out. I mean, that's one strategy I've thought about doing. So I may just take 1 month, and if I'm not done by then, drag it on to another month and see what happens. But it shouldn't take more than a month to get this thing done, okay? So it's just that my focus has been so divided with everything else. All right, so I'm ready to move on to discovering new stories. Like I said, I've really been excited about working on the edits for the 2018 novel, which is my first Christmas story. I really finally did a Christmas story. It's very intriguing to me how it turned out and what it is. And I know there's some plot holes and stuff, and I can remember some of the story, but man, it's been since 2018 that I wrote it, and I haven't really, I decided that since it took me so long to finish the first edits on the first novel, I didn't even want to look at this one until I was actually done with the first novel so I can focus on it. And so I'm excited to get back to that and discover that story even further and kind of, you know, flesh it out even more and see some other stories that may be in the works. I feel like I haven't been as creative in the fiction world because I'm holding on to everything else, and I really need to release that. So, and to be honest, I'm a bit envious of my wife's writing progress. She has found her a agent that's helping her edit her novel series. It's a fantasy Christian novel. It's unlike anything that's out there right now, and we're hoping for good results for that. and she's been working like a dog trying to get that done. And I'm happy for her, but at the same time, all I can think of sometimes is I would be at that stage if I would just, finally finish this novel, finish editing it. Okay, so that's my writing and blog focus. All right. Now, let me take just a second here. Take a little bit of a break. Give me a second. Once again, my mouth's getting dry. How's the chat doing? 2 viewers. Welcome, whoever's watching. Just going over some goals and updates and some directions for this channel and for different creative aspects I've been working on. And this is more of a longer video right now. We are at the 50-minute mark. I've still got 1, 2, 3 more points to go over. Kind of 4. One of them is pretty long. But yeah, I anticipate this will last at least another 40 minutes. So give me another piece of candy here. Keep my mouth wet. I'm trying to hurry up too so that I can make sure to take over, kind of watch the baby. Wow, it's almost midnight. I didn't realize that. Alright, so I'm wide awake. I probably won't go to sleep tonight at my normal time. Okay, so let's check the time. 51. Okay, now we're going to be talking about my music focus. Okay, so my music goals, music focus, things like that. I'll say probably the main thing I'm going to do with my music in 2023 is to write more music. This is very similar to the Feelings novel. Now, some things I was able to get out and get them done. Bluegrass Guitar Essentials took about 3 years, but that was because I had hired some editors. I had some downtime waiting on the editors, so there was other people involved, graphic designers, getting the tabs done, things like that. The first novel is all my fault. I've been taking way too long on it. And I kind of feel like I'm doing the same thing with my debut album, Revival in the Air. And the last track of that is almost, it's recorded. All the tracks have been recorded since probably about 2015. A lot of this stuff has to do with 2015 for some reason. So it's been recorded since then. But then I learned to mix, and I had to do all that on my own. I wanted to learn. It was exciting. But my problem is I'm a perfectionist. Okay, so I nitpick, I tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and keep going. And it never gets done. It's an endless curse to have this kind of problem. I took a personality test one year, and I ended up being an INFJ personality, which is the top 1% of the world's population. So I'm one of these people that are very perfectionist, very nitpicky about things, and yeah, you just have to look it up. I did a whole blog about the INFJ personality, INFJ. If you go to my blog and you find stuff out about that, and I've also talked about it here on YouTube, I think. So anyway, now that album is finally almost done, I want to start writing other music, and I don't want to wait until it's done to do so. I actually thought about taking all of January to go and sort through all my ideas that I have and start creating new music. And I'd like to do that because that's one thing as far as seeing other artists and things like that on YouTube. It seems like everybody's always constantly coming out with new music, and they're constantly coming out with new albums and new singles. And on the one hand, like I said, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you want to keep up with all their release schedules and all this. But what you don't realize is when you're seeing hundreds of channels, each one of them is bound to have a new release every other week. And so you're thinking that you're way behind when actually you're seeing all these other artists that are combined together that look like they're outrunning you. And you think of that as one person. Well, it's not. This artist may release one every 3 months. This artist may release one and I'm talking about singles, every, 5 months, 6 months. But combined, it looks like it's constant content creation. And so you feel overwhelmed, and your brain kind of really can't tell the difference, and you don't think about these things. And so I want to sit down and write music and just do that. I have ideas. I've recorded them on my phone. My phone's getting bloated with all these ideas. I've got to sit down and do something with them. Okay. There's a time where you have to stop doing all the grunt work to get to a place and just start working on those things. So I have on my computer in my movies, I've got a my movie ideas folder from with all different musical ideas that I have archived so that I can go back and watch them whenever I'm ready to start working on them. Well, I need to start doing that. And one of my goals for this year is focus on my music and music creation and writing more music and enjoying that process. And rather than always spending my time every time I open up a DAW, I've got to mix this song again, or I've got to do this with this song, or I like the creation process, and I'm not letting myself have that ability to do it as much as I should be. There's a real huge imbalance leaning toward one way. Okay, it only took for me to record the Revival in the Air album. It only took a week, right? I got all my songs together. I figured out what keys they were going to be in. I figured out how to use the software I was using, which is Traction. At the time, it was called Traction. Now it's called Traction Waveform, same company, but they've updated the name. And I recorded it all in a week. But then I had to learn mixing, and mixing and me are probably a terrible combination because, like I said, all the tweakability you can do in mixing, and then combine that with somebody who's as a perfectionistic personality as me, you have years of working on one song. Okay, months of working on one song. So, and what kills me is I know I can mix a song fast. There was a competition. I think the name of the company is Lewitt Audio. They make the microphones, and they're pretty good from what I hear, and they're pretty popular. This band got on there, and they was having a contest to give away some of their mics, and I was able to mix that song. They give all the stems away for the competition. I was able to mix that song 3 days, and I didn't even know about the competition until about 5 days before the deadline. I got it done, right? Working on the Gilbert Family's album, we just released that. I think around October of last year. It took us 2 years to do it, from recording, and it just between doing shows, we were all tired. We didn't get to really, do the mixing and everything. Had to learn a whole new program, Pro Tools. John was working on that. He installed that on his computer and had to start learning about that. And so that was slow going. But when we finally got down to it, got down to brass tacks, as they say, I was able to mix that album and get it done. I was able to edit everything. He was able to mix it. We got it all done in about 1 or 2 months. And that was really grinding, put our nose to the grindstone. So I know I can do it. But with my own stuff, I guess I'm just more critical about it. Okay, so I'm getting pumped about this. I'm getting a workout here, talking about all this stuff. All right, so take a breath. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start a Write More Music in 2023 Trello card and put the ideas there. One of the things is look at some of the music courses that I have and get some ideas from them. Look at my movie ideas, folders. I use an app called Tonally. There's an awesome app called Tonally, Tonally. It's available for Mac, Big Sur, and up, and on iOS. Amazing app, and I've already done one video on YouTube about it, but I'd like to do more. That's another thing I'd like to do is more music creation using that app. And so it basically allows you to have a working circle of fifths, and you can create chord progressions. You can export those to MIDI so that you can import them into your DAW, which I've done before, and it's amazing. You don't have to sit there and type it out on a keyboard. It's already there for you, and you can add to it later and build upon it. You can type out lead sheets from this. Great program. Once again, it's called Tonally, Tonally, and I think it came out in 2021. It's amazing. So there's that. I could have a whole idea well of where to go if I want to learn how to write music, or not learn how to write, but some ideas for writing music. Also, what I want to do is build a performance repertoire. I only have really 2 songs. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm comfortable playing with on my acoustic guitar, and I can do a lot of singing. But I've noticed over the years my voice, you can hear it right now, It's gotten very grainy and grunty and deep, and it's not as reliable as it used to be on songs and things like that. And so I'd like to focus more on the musician aspect of things. And so I want to be able to have more live performances for my electric guitar stuff. I've got plenty for my acoustic, but I want to have more electric guitar stuff because I want to be able to use my Helix, right? I want to be able to use some of that, the gear that I've got. And really, I only have maybe one or two songs that I professionally released that I could do that with. Just this past month, I did a show for a new song that I did. My take on a song called In the Bleak Midwinter. It's my newest single right now. And I was able to feel comfortable doing that one because it wasn't that hard to learn and relearn and kind of figure out. But I've got other songs that I like, that I loved, and I'll come back to them time and time again and want to play them. But I've really got to get them under my fingers, so to speak. And right now, I don't really have a motivation to do that because there's only 2 electric guitar songs. The rest, if I was to play a show today, most of my set would be acoustic, and I would have 2 electric guitar songs. So I'm not really motivated to learn 2 electric guitar songs, even though I wrote them. Right, so I've got to get more in my repertoire so that I have more songs to perform for shows or for clinics or whatever. I want to have more songs to my name because I see people on these live streams. I watched a live stream just a little while ago by Thomas McCrocklin, and he just gets on there, plays a backing track, and just shreds it away. And he has all these songs and all these things he's created. And I'm like, I want to be able to do that. So I've got to get to brass tacks again and start working on my repertoire. So I've got to start making some more music that I can perform to. I want to do more live performances, like stage it. I did the Christmas clinic a few weeks back. So what that was is I wrote a song in the bleak midwinter. I didn't write it, but I did my own take on it. Recorded it, mixed it, got it out there, and I did that in a month. So I can mix a song, relatively fast for me, anyway. One of these days I'll be able to do it in 4 hours or whatever, like some of these other people do. But anyway, that's just me. Some authors take years to write a novel. Okay, so everybody's different. But I did that. I did performance of that song, and then I did it as a clinic. Right, so there were no shows. Nobody showed up. Nobody even bought a ticket. Nothing. Like crickets. But what I realized is I showed up. Though nobody else did, I did. Okay, and so I actually had an idea because of that, and I went through with it. I didn't realize this. I had advertised it everywhere that it would not be recorded. It would not be recorded. And to my knowledge, it wasn't until I was browsing in my movies folder and seen this video I didn't recognize, and I started playing it, and the quality wasn't great. It didn't record well, but it had recorded, and I'd forgotten that Streamlabs OBS that I stream with, and what I was using to stream with that day, I've got it set to automatically record any stream, and I totally forgotten about that. Like right now, when I'm sharing with you right now, it's automatically recording it to my computer. So in case something happens to the stream, I'll have a backup and I can upload it to YouTube if something happens. And so I didn't realize that. So now I've got a copy of the clinic, and it is available. Well, it's not available. It's not uploaded or anything, but I can use that as bonus content. So one of the things I'd like to be able to do now is I can use that if I want to do any kind of membership side or any kind of extra bonus content. I can use it for that, right? So I thought, well, that'd be cool to use it. YouTube has this membership thing. You've got Patreon, you've got Buy Me a Coffee, you've got all these different platforms that I could use that as bonus content and incentive for people to sign up for. And so I want to do more live performances, but if they bomb, then I can use those and to kind of repurpose those, if you understand that. So I can use that to record clinics and shows and do things for more member content. We'll talk more about that here in just a little bit because I got some ideas on that. Okay, so we talked about the Revival in the Air album, and my goal for that is there's only one official song left. I'd like to do a bonus song, but that's not a priority. I don't have to worry about getting that out immediately. There's one song left, okay, and it's the last one, and my goal is to get it. I was going to take this whole month of January, just kind of back up, kind of get a bigger picture of the forest for the trees, kind of thing, kind of see what this year is kind of get a feel for it, right? I got some ideas of what I want to do, but I still want to kind of give it a little bit of time, kind of, you know, wash out. And so my goal was to finally get the last song mixed and done in February, and hopefully released in February. So my goal is to get that album completely done and the last song released, mixed in February. I'd like to take about a week to mix the song, get it done, test it out on my various, you know, devices, car tests, iPod tests, whatever, iPhone tests. Test it while I'm on the Bluetooth speaker while I'm in the shower, things like that. So I want to be able to do things like that and get it done, get it out there, so that it'll be done in February and I can move forward. At least one thing in my life I can move forward with, right? So that's my goal for that. And the last thing I have on point for the music focus is I want to focus a little bit. I want to focus not just a little bit more, but a lot more on Bandcamp because versus Spotify and all these other streaming services. Because to be honest with you, Spotify and all these other streaming services, I'm not going to get big on those. I'm not going to get, you know, Post Malone or whoever all these other people are. They're getting millions and millions of streams and all this kind of money. I mean, they pay what? 0% of a cent. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. But if I'm on Bandcamp, I think 90% of the money goes to the artist. And on Bandcamp Fridays, which I just recently found out they're going to continue on in 2023, which means the first Friday of every month, which is coming up, this coming Friday, should be the first Bandcamp for Bandcamp Friday of the year, if I'm not mistaken. They've got information about that on their website. But on Bandcamp Fridays, all of the portions, 100% of the proceeds, go to the artists. Okay? So why would I not have any royalties for Spotify when I could have a lot more royalties through Bandcamp? Okay? I'm not making a ton of sales on there. I'm not really making hardly any sales on there. But if I get more people that like my music, and if I get more music out there and I build what I have, then that can only be a good thing. I mean, I'll be able to keep more of the money that, you know, I've worked hard for, right? So I want to focus more on Bandcamp as my main music platform. Okay, so you can find that out by going to ericbeatty.bandcamp.com, or you can just use my URL based off my domain, ericbeatty.com/bandcamp. Okay, let me go ahead and add that to the chat. Okay, so that's in there now. All right, check the audio. All right, looking good, sounding good. Stream still looking good. Excellent condition, good deal. Awesome. So, we just topped the hour, almost 10 minutes into it. That brings me to the next section here. Oh, wait. 25. And that is another focus that I want to talk about and want to start focusing on is Line 6 Helix. Okay. And my face just lights up when I talk about it because I want to dive into it more. When I was doing some, and I'm by no means a YouTube expert on analytics and all this stuff, but when I was doing some research on some of the videos that had more views and more popularity and things like that, I noticed that my Helix videos were kind of, you know, getting more popular and more popular. I don't have like thousands of views or anything like that, but they were way outperforming some of my other videos that I've uploading. And so I thought, well, you guys want to see Helix videos, and I want to do Helix videos. I want to do more Helix presets, more Helix navigation tips and tricks and things like that. I'm by no means the expert on it, but I'm excited to share these things. Once again, that's something that as I learn, I'm excited to share. And I've never really thought about it before, but now that I do think about it, that seems to be, you know, my thing is I'm excited to share things that I'm learning as we're learning it together. So that's really cool. So I want to do more Helix videos, okay? I've got Helix Native on this computer. I've got Helix LT upstairs. And basically, it sits in a corner. I don't do a whole lot with it like I'd like to, which is one of the reasons also why I want to build my repertoire, because I can put all those presets on the Helix and start using the Helix more, even if it's for live shows like this. The cool thing is I discovered how to automate Helix Native. So I didn't have to tap dance all over presets and stuff like that. The DAW I was using, which was Reaper at the time, was able to change all that for me. So that was really, really cool. So I know how to do that now when I want to do live shows and I don't have my Helix with me or something like that. So I want to do more custom presets. I've got various presets that I have for sale in one of my stores. You can find that at erickbeatty.com/HelixLT presets. And the reason I named it that, I wish I'd named it Helix presets. I can always go back and change it, but now it's kind of too late. Is I guess I could think about it, but anyway, it's because I had a Helix LT at the time. But really, now that I've got Helix Native, I can make it compatible for HX Stomp XL, HX FX, Helix, and Helix LT. I can make it compatible with all that, so I can sell multiple different kinds of presets if I wanted to. So that's really cool. But I want to do more custom presets. I've got some that I've been wanting to do forever, and I just, like I said, I've been pulled in so many directions, and getting adjusted to this new baby thing. I just haven't had the time or the willpower, the want to do it. To be, to be honest and frank with you, no motivation whatsoever to do this stuff. And so now, as I'm going over this, I'm getting excited about it, because there's many times I've had DJ down here. There's a little rocker thing that I keep him in down here, and he just has the best time sometimes just sitting here and just watching me while I do stuff, and I'll talk to him or whatever. And so I'm not as hindered in doing the things that I'd like to do and that really excite me as I thought I was going into this. So I want to do more Helix custom presets. I want to do more Helix live streams. I mean, I've had so much fun with Helix live streams. Really, really fun stuff. I mean, one of my biggest Helix videos so far was it was a live stream. Let me check it out real quick and make sure that I'm right. Yeah, why I chose the Line 6 Helix family over other modelers, and that was a live stream. Okay, so that's awesome that was a live stream. I had fun with that, and it's got over 500 views. I mean, it's the biggest Helix video I've got now, I think. And so, people are looking for that. People want to know more about it. And so why not, why not give it to them and do more videos like that? I mean, if people are wanting it, why not do more videos like it, right? So I want to do more Helix live streams. I want to get to know my Helix better. And I'm talking about the 4 unit, the Helix LT. I want to get to know it better, especially for performing live. And like I said, by upping my repertoire kind of affects that. So there are certain things in here that kind of help motivate other things. Like if I get more music and I write more music, I'll be able to use my Helix more, right? So I like how this is kind of weaving in together to benefit everything else. And that's when you know something's working, is when that kind of happens, okay? So I want to get to know it better. I want to get more hands-on with it. I want to do more videos from that kind of view instead of always doing all my Helix Native, being lazy about it, frankly, and putting Helix Native on the screen and showing you how to do it that way, when people really need to learn how to do it on the unit, because you're not going to have Helix Native with you if you're taking your Helix 4 unit or your HX Stomp unit to a gig. You have to learn how to use the actual modeling device itself. So it's good to know that. So I want to do more of those. I want to enjoy the tangibility of it, the tactileness of playing with it, the 4 unit itself, learning all the ins and outs of it that I can. I mean, I haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg with the Helix. I know I haven't. And now that they come up with Helix 3.5 update, firmware update, there's even more you can do with all these cab upgrades and stuff like that. And I haven't even got to be able to do a Helix 3.5 update video yet, and I still want to do that, but I'm already behind the pack. It's yesterday's news by now, right? So I want to be able to do some more of this stuff. I want to share my learning with others, just like I said earlier, much like sharing guitar thoughts and discoveries when I first started the channel. Actually, on the show notes when I wrote that down, that was the aha moment that I had, that about sharing with others as I discover is what gets me really stoked and excited. Okay, so Helix, that's been my Helix focus that I'd like to work on. I think I'm talking faster because I'm excited about this, but I'm running out of breath. Okay, so we are at 114, 50. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about my YouTube focus for 2023. Okay, this is where the meat is actually happening. Okay, You've heard about my music, you've heard about the blog, you've heard about the Helix, you've heard about initial thoughts of YouTube. This is where it all kind of boils down to as far as the YouTube is concerned, okay? Take a drink here real quick. So here are some updates. I haven't announced this yet, but I am excited about it. And I've got it over here in a box. I got my first DSLR camera. 4K. I don't know how much I can be able to edit 4K on my computer. Hopefully I can, using the video editing software. I think I have proxies, so hopefully that won't be an issue. But I have 4K DSLR camera. I'm excited to start using it. It's got all kinds of features. I want to start, having better quality video. That's one thing that I wish I had more of, is better quality video. I've got a 2K webcam here, but for some reason I can't get it to upload 2K like I want it to. Well, with this, I don't have any worries about it. I don't have to worry about hardware acceleration, any of that stuff. It will be on the camera, and it's going to be amazing. The video quality is going to be so much better because I'll be able to control light settings and things like that. With all these cameras that I have now, I've had these lights, and I heard about lighting and how lighting is important. But at the same time, I always feel like I'm exposed, overexposed. Like if I get close to this light up here, my forehead lights up, right? So I can't really control with this camera, this webcam, or any other of my cameras really, the light sensitivity and all the different filters, ISO and aperture and all that stuff. With this camera, I can. So I'm excited to start filming in the new camera very soon. I don't know which video it will start with, but it will hopefully happen very soon. And I've already done some research on it. I'm going to set it to the best settings that are as recommended. I found a video on it the other day, best kind of general overall settings, and kind of learn as I go. One of my other things about being an INFJ personality is I like to learn, I like to read the manuals. I like to go in and kind of feel things out, but I also like to go back and read the manuals. I like to know everything there is about everything. When I play board games, people get aggravated at me because I'm always a guy that's like, we got to do it by the rules. We can't improvise. We got to play this game by the rules. So I'm terrible at researching things way longer than I need to before I actually jump in and do the thing. So what I want to do is set this thing to the bare minimum settings and start recording, and then kind of improvise as I go, correct course as I go, tweak as I go, and learn more about what I need to know as I need to know it, rather than having to need to know everything, because there is a massive amount of detail and options with this camera. I was looking at the user manual when I first got it. I was like, oh, this is awesome, but at the same time, there's so much. Okay, so that's one update. Another one, I've got a new artist endorsement with a company that I'll be announcing soon. Okay, I've already got that video recorded. I just got to get it edited, and it will hopefully be coming out in the next few weeks. So I'm very excited about that, to be working with this company, and I think we're going to have a good working relationship. They've sent me some good products to test out for you guys, and I'm really excited about one particular product. Some new pics they've sent me that I've been experimenting with, and definitely want to get those videoed on this new camera so I can get some high detail on them, okay? I have something that's been waiting over a year and a half to get, by Troy Grady. If you're familiar with his cracking the code videos on YouTube, pixelating and all that, he's had something for years he calls the magnet, and it's basically a unit that snaps onto your guitar, and you can put your iPhone in there and record your picking angle at high resolution and even slow motion. I've got that now. That finally released. It was finally shipped to the Kickstarter original backers, and that came in about 2 or 3 weeks ago. See a fuzz floating by. So I'm excited to start using that, not necessarily for my picking hand, but I'd like to be able to use it for the fretboard. Okay, so I'd like to be able to attach a webcam per se, and get some cool shots of the fretboard up here in this way, acoustic and electric. Things like that kind of spark new creative ideas, and maybe I want to do some more bluegrass stuff from that angle. Maybe I can do some bluegrass guitar stuff of things I've already done on YouTube, but from alternate angles, and that'll be a refreshing thing for you people that still want to see bluegrass stuff. I don't know, but that's an idea. I've got the magnet in for alternate angles in videotaping. Okay, so that's going to be amazing. And also, I have a few gear vids in the works that I've got to do still. We'll talk a little bit more about gear videos here in just a little bit, but The wireless microphone system that I did an unboxing for, I just recorded that over the weekend, the actual gear demo and review of it. And so it's in the process of editing right now. I'm editing it. And so that will be done soon and be released. And I also have, one or two other things to do as far as gear reviews. I think that's the last main one I have to do, but there are other ones that I've been wanting to do anyway. And some of the Christmas presents, like I said, that I bought for myself, I want to do reviews on, one of them being that camera. So I'm really excited about that. So as far as the YouTube focus in 2023, and I've mentioned this several times, I'm not going to be worried about chasing algorithms. I'm fed up with the whole algorithm chase. You can call me crazy if you want to. I know there's awesome channels out there dedicated to making you better YouTube and making you videos more viewed by more people and all kinds of things like that. But I can already see I'm not reaching a huge audience. Well, I kind of am, but I'm not like in the millions of subscribers and things like that. So I'm not going to sit here after 10 years, after over a decade of doing this YouTube thing. I'm not going to sit here now and keep trying to go around the hamster wheel. I'm tired. I'm not getting any younger. I'm tired of that. I want to create things that I love and that I like to do. And if you like it, you'll subscribe. Which, by the way, if you like this so far, please make sure to subscribe, click that notification bell, and click that like button for me. And that will help this video to go out wide and other videos of mine to go out wide. So I'm getting so excited about this, I forgot to even tell you to do that. So there's that. But I'm not going to be chasing subscriptions and all this stuff. I want to focus on content. Content is king. Always has been, always will be. Content is king, and that's what I want to focus on. Not the algorithm, not the, SEO titles and all that. I do what I think might. Okay, so that's another thing. Really quick rant on that. Not rant, but observation. They tell you to do all these SEO titles, but you know what? I've been seeing some of the weirdest titles have some of the hugest views. One of my favorite YouTube artists right now, he is special for Helix, is the go-to guy that I always go to. I always watch just about all of his videos because he does so much cool Helix stuff, and that's John Cordy. He has some of the wildest titles, YouTube titles, and it's just authentic. It's how he talks, it's how he thinks, it's his personality. I want to do titles my way. For example, the title of this video is not the goals and things I want to achieve in 2023, blah, 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 plans, directions, and all this. Yes, that's in the title, but the main title is, it's time we got to talk about my channel. Does that not grab your attention? I haven't had a talk about my channel in a long time, if ever. Okay? That should grab your attention. So I want to start focusing on things that, like I said, content is king. I want to focus on things that grab my attention and start doing things the way that I've been seeing them done other places, and they're still getting clicks. Maybe it's because they're niched down. I don't know. I don't know all this stuff, but I know what I like, and I know what I want to present to the people. And if they like it, they'll subscribe, they'll click, maybe buy a few products, maybe support the channel. I don't know. So all this is new. It's kind of exciting. I don't see us as stressful because I feel liberated for the first time in a long time when it comes to doing content on my blog, on my YouTube channel, wherever. Okay. So I'm not going to be chasing algorithms. I'm tired of that. I'm not going to be focusing as much on gear reviews. I've done my first share of that. I've got some videos of that. And I realized by watching one of Philip McKnight's videos, he had a live stream not too long ago about kind of his policies on when he reviews products. I didn't realize that he charged, to do this. I thought they gave you gear and that was your payment. Well, I realized this not long ago when I did a gear review video, and I wasn't really aware of this, but I had to do 3 separate videos for this product. And I thought, okay, I didn't realize it was going to be this much work. Well, they wanted me to get one of the videos out earlier than I anticipated. And because of that, it threw off my whole process. It threw off my whole, the way I worked, everything. It took so long to edit these videos to make them professional looking. And so from now on, as far as gear goes, unless it's a super massively amazing product that I can't live without, I'm not going to be doing gear demo reviews for anything less than super amazing products, because I've got all I've got all the gear pretty much that I need. So before I was trying to get some of my own gear built up. Well, I've got all that built up now, and I don't get me wrong, I like the products that I've reviewed, and I've recommended them to the best of my ability to be honest about them, no bias or anything like that. And I've always liked to be able to do that. But my gear's built up now. Other than I would love to have more guitars. Who doesn't want more guitars, right? So, if Helix approached me, or if Line 6 approached me, if Fractal approached me, if some of these other places that were big top names approached me, if Ibanez, here's a signature guitar or whatever, yes, for sure. I will definitely do a gear demo video for that. But what I've decided to do is start charging for the work that I have to put in, because editing videos takes countless hours if you're doing it right, okay? It takes forever to edit some of these videos. I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent on these videos. Some of them 20 plus hours, and that's probably just very little compared to most professional video editors. I'm not a professional video editor by any means, but at video editing, I would rather not spend my time doing if I can spend my time writing music. If I can spend my time writing, posting on my blog, doing things I like to do. You know, I don't want to waste all my time that I have very little of, that I could be spending with my family and my new baby, on gear reviews, on things that do not really matter to me as much as they once did. So I'm not holding on to things that bog me down anymore, right? I'm doing it. It's time to move on. Time to get past all that, right? So gear videos will be far and few between unless I'm very excited about it or it's a top-notch product that I can really back, okay? So I want to do more things that matter to me. Yeah. When you put in work testing, recording, editing, optimizing all these videos and stuff, I should be charging like $1,000 to do what I do, right? Because just especially for 3 separate videos, that kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, for basically free for a piece of equipment that was less than $100 or right at it. So no more. Not gonna be focusing on merch, okay? Nobody in the chat. One viewer, cool. Not gonna be focusing on merch. Merch has really never gotten me anywhere, other than CDs, things like that. If I print CDs and things like that, I haven't done my DVDs in a long time. I've still got some of those available. They're still in print, still running out, and you can still order some of my courses on DVD. But I'm not making any new courses on DVD or anything like that. It just takes too much time. It's not really worth it. And even though I love my shirt, I love my avatar, I'm not going to be trying to put my face on mugs and more T-shirts and all the other things. I wouldn't mind having a hoodie. That'd be cool to do that for my personal use. If you want to check that out, if you want to buy one of these shirts or whatever and support the merch, then you can. You can go to everybody.com/swag to find that out. But I'm not going to be focusing on it. It's just too much work, too much effort for very little ROI. So merch is not going to be my focus in 2023 on YouTube. Speaking of courses, I have no new courses in the works, thankfully, because one of the things that pushed back the release of my album and getting it all done was the fact that the Creative Guitarist, my newest course, it really got to me and it would not let go. So it was something that I had to complete. I saw a vision for this. I was excited about it, and I wasn't as excited about doing my album because I've been stretching it out and working on it so long. It was time for a break. I was ready for something else, and so that kind of interrupted that flow and became another course just out of nowhere. So I have no other ideas for courses or anything like that right now. I do have some other videos that are archived that I'd like to make into little mini courses, and I have been doing some of those, but that's definitely not a priority. They've already been created. I don't have to do much. I don't have to do anything with them besides just post them, make a product out of them, things like that. So the courses that I have available, they're all on my website, everybody.com/courses, and you can get those there. Let's see here. What else do I got? Although clinics and workshops might be a great alternative, I thought about that. Like I was telling you about earlier, Stage It. I did a clinic, and I thought, well, I could repurpose that as an actual product or bonus content or whatever. So just as if you were to go to and host a live workshop clinic for guitar, and you would record it, and you would repurpose that and monetize it, use it for a product, I could easily see myself doing that. Let's create more music. So once again, this feeds everything else. Um, Creating more music helps me utilize my Helix more, right? It helps me work on Helix and learn it more, and so that I can have something to give me incentive to learn my Helix more. But also creating more music allows me more opportunities to turn that into instructional material. Let's make a clinic out of this new song. Here's how I produced it. Here's how I wrote it. Here's how I play the song. Here's a performance video. Let's break that down. So that could be a whole product in itself. And that could be 3 individual products in itself. So once again, I'm not chasing the money. I'm not going to worry about creating a whole lot of products, but that option is on the table, right? So I'm really liking standing up, by the way. More dynamic like this. Okay, so is my stream still good? I think I've been doing real good this whole stream as far as health-wise. Good deal. Let's go back. Let me check the... Okay, good deal. I hope it's not too thin sounding. Like I said, I had the other microphone enabled, but this one kind of, it's not as bassy and boomy and everything. Alright, so let me get back here. That's where I need to be. Okay. So, the other thing, another focus. I'm not going to worry about comparing myself to others. I've been doing this for a long time, especially on Instagram, seeing people post. Like I said a while ago, you don't really see the magnitude of how, in the multitude of how many other people are posting when you just sit there and scroll and scroll and scroll and you think, I'm a failure. I need to produce more content. I'll never catch up with all this stuff. It's pointless. And so I'm tired of doing that. I'm tired of comparing myself to others. I want to be the best I can be tomorrow than I was today. I don't want to be the next huge guitarist on Instagram, huge guitarist on YouTube, and it's my own fault. You know, I see these people, I'm like, oh, I really like their stuff, and I want to be able to support them, and I want to be able to do what they're doing. And it's so easy to get wrapped up in that you just feel like you're nothing, and you'll never get that far. I mean, you don't have to get that far. It's like the whole Kevin Kelly thing. You only need 1,000 true fans and things like that. You only need a small percentage of people to support you for you to make a decent living. So I don't have to be the next huge star. I don't have to be the next Steve Vai. I don't have to be the next Jack Gardner. I don't have to be the next Marcos Foley. Even though I'm into all those guys and I really like what they're doing, and definitely go support them, check them out. I don't have to be that. I can focus on my stuff and be content with that. Okay, I don't have to compare myself to others. So yes, and you take it and you turn it around this way, and you can see it looks more professional. But at the same time, I don't have to feel like, well, I have to always be facing this way and I always have to use this other camera for me to be more professional. No, because that mindset stops you from getting creative. That's that resistance that Stephen Pressfield talks about in his book, The War of Art. Anything and everything is going to try to stop you from doing what you want to do. And so you'll try to come up with any excuse because of that. What is that? Very weird. Let me see if I'm still streaming. Turn it around this way. Okay, I guess I am. That's not a weird looking notification there. Okay, so my studio, it is what it is. Don't let it hold you back. That's what I kind of wrote in the notes here. So that's the things I'm not going to do. Not going to be chasing the algorithm. Not going to be focusing on much gear videos. Not going to focus on merch. Not going to worry about new courses or anything like that. Not going to be comparing myself to other people. Let's talk about what I am thinking about for this channel. Some of the stuff I've already mentioned. But here's some other stuff here that I've definitely wrote down. And that is taking viewers behind the scenes as I write, record, produce, all these other things with new music. Okay, so that's one thing I can do for sure. It's taking people behind the scenes and helping them to see what I'm doing. If I get stoked about new music and writing new music and I get excited about it, I know other people will get excited about it as well. And that's how I can build my artist. I don't see all these other artists worrying about gear reviews. Some of them do, yes, but a lot of them just, they play. And it reminds me of a quote by, what's his name? His mind, his left my mind. I'll have to look it up real quick. He wrote The Lincoln Lawyer. spell it right. Lincoln lawyer Michael Connelly. It just hit me. Michael Connelly. He was in the there's a show called Castle. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows. You just have to look it up. It's an ABC special or ABC, kind of show. It's on, I believe Hulu has it, but it's called Castle, and it's about an author who basically, to write a next book, he wants to go to the police force and kind of follow this hot chick around who's a detective, and kind of follow her around as he writes his novels. And he's a part of a poker playing group with other best-selling authors, and Michael Connelly is one of them. And in one episode, I think it's, I can never remember which one it is. I think it's season 1, episode 7. It may even be season 2. But they're gathering around the poker table, and Michael Connelly's there, James Patterson's there, Stephen Cannell is there, and the Castle brings in this newbie who I think he wants to date his daughter or something like that. He brings him in, and he's actually the guy that plays on Lie to Me, if you know that, with Tim Roth. He plays one of the main characters on it, one of the main scientists. Anyway, he brings him in, and he talks about, yeah, I'm writing a novel, and I'm doing all this and all that. And Michael Connelly comes off with this awesome quote. It's a big mic drop moment. He says, you know what I did after I wrote my first novel? The guy's like, no, what? He said, I shut up and I wrote 37 more. Mic drop, or how many ever the number was, but you get the idea. I mean, I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome. And so I forgot the point I was making about all this, but what I was talking about just now is taking viewers behind the scenes as I write, record, and produce. And I was talking about my studio and all this, and I guess you just have to rewind this to figure out the point I was trying to make with that, but that was awesome when he said that, and that relates to whatever the thing was that I was trying to make a point about. Okay, so sorry about that. But one thing that I did when I took viewers behind the scene before, that became a product. How I approach soloing, how I approach creative soloing, coming up with melodies, coming up with making more expressive solos, emotional solos, and things like that. That became the creative guitarist, my course, and that was taking people behind the scenes of how I was actually writing a solo for a competition at the moment. So I did this in real time, how I was doing it, took you behind the scenes. You got to see the whole process, and not only that, the course includes the 30,000 course material curriculum, 30,000 word. So that's kind of what I did with that, and that became a product. Okay, so that's one of the things I'd like to do is take viewers behind the scenes. Another thing is I'm considering, and I've been researching this lately, there's a guy on YouTube called The Bun. Shout out to The Bun. He's awesome videos he has produced magnificently, and he has a series on the 50-year-old musician, I think, 50-year-old artist or whatever. Definitely got to watch that. Shout out to The Bun. B-U-N-N, by the way, if you want to look him up on YouTube. And he was talking about YouTube memberships and how he's reserved some things. And one of the excellent ideas that I thought was amazing was that he was recording a live stream like for the new year. Excuse me, but after it was over with, he would make it unlisted and share it just for YouTube members. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I've got tons of videos I can do something like that with. That's kind of the basis behind Patreon. You do unlisted live streams and stuff like that. But I thought, well, that's cool. But I always thought, I could consider doing a YouTube membership because it would, I don't know. I've kind of done the whole Patreon thing, and it hasn't really been working really at all. I've done the Buy Me a Coffee thing. Hasn't been working at all. And I thought, well, if I did YouTube memberships, that would be on YouTube, and it would be geared more toward YouTube people. But then I got to researching, and I didn't realize, but YouTube takes like 70%, they take 30% of whatever you make on the membership. So I thought, well, I could do YouTube memberships on a different platform, and not Patreon, not Buy Me a Coffee. So I can do, because a lot of people have been requesting, and the comments, I've been getting a lot of comments lately about, would you do a video on so-and-so? Or would you explain your process behind this video? Would you do this? Would you do that? And like I said, most of it's bluegrass. And so when you ask me for a bluegrass video, and I've just told you this channel's not focused on bluegrass anymore as the main focus, then I'm in a dilemma Do I give the people what they want, or do I do what I want? And so I've been a slave to trying to give people what they want and feeling burdened down by not doing that, when at the same time all I have to do if I wanted to is I could do that, but it's costing me a little bit of my not want to, for lack of a better word. It's costing me a little bit of my soul to do this. So if you want that, then you need to pay for it, right? So why not just host a membership for any requests people have that I feel like doing? Tabs or anything like that people want to request, or this or that. I can reserve that for YouTube memberships. And what I'm doing, in the process of doing right now, is creating a YouTube membership site off of YouTube so that I can keep more of that money, keep more of that revenue. Just like Bandcamp gives me more of my share of the revenue than Spotify ever will. Okay. So I'm considering a different avenue for YouTube memberships. Let me know in the comments if you watched this far. What do you think about that? And we'll go over some of that stuff right now. So like I said, I want to make technology work for me. And the platform I'll be using for this right now that I can think of is a place called PayHip. And I've got a store on PayHip, and it's very easy to find. You can just go to ericbeatty.com/tabs, and that's where all my tabs are hosted. So that will take you right to my tab section of that store. If you want to go actually to the store, you can go to ericbeatty.com/payhip. Okay, I'll leave that link in the chat for people that are watching. That seems like something that's chat worthy. And that'll take you straight to the PayHip site that I have hosted. That's kind of more for my lesser products of lesser magnitude than full huge courses. Okay, so I can see any kind of things that I'll be hosting product wise will probably be hosted on that platform. Okay, so it's got my tabs. It's had my tabs for a while. It's got some of my ebooks on there. It's got the Creative Guitarist on there in multiple formats. It's got, like I said, my tabs. And it has, oh, I didn't realize I had a backup going. Oh well. But yeah, it's got all kinds of things on there. It's got my Helix presets, all this stuff, and some of the mini courses that I'm trying to from my archives, I'm trying to put on that platform. But now it's got membership options, so I can do a subscription-based membership for YouTube members and still keep most of that revenue for myself. Okay, so that's my goal, is to, if I'm doing something like this and if I'm trying to help requests, to make technology work for me, not against me. So I'm using other platforms that will give me more money in my pocket and give me more food in my mouth. Okay, so I'm using that for more royalties, just like I said with Bandcamp. And also, I don't have to worry about creating endless work for myself via perks. With Patreon, you create tiers. With YouTube memberships, there's perks so that you have to fulfill all these things if they give you more money. Well, I'm at the point now where my time is worth more to me than your money. And my motivation, my willpower, my joy to get up in the morning and do this thing is worth more to me than your money. So rather than creating multiple tiers on PayHip, I can create one YouTube subscription and say, this is what you get. And I will populate it with the material that I have whenever I get the new material, and it'll be there. And I'll try to put enough there so that it's worth your monthly subscription to get renewed. And if it becomes like I have a lot of stuff, then I might up the price. I've started it out very low at first, but if there's a lot of stuff that's going to come on there, then I'll up the price to reflect that. But yeah, so that's in the works as well. YouTube membership offsite. Okay, so that's one of my focuses this year. Also, I want to have more, and this is the last thing on the YouTube focus, and then I'll be done with that. And I have one more section, a little bonus section I want to talk to you about. I want to have more talking and discussion live streams like this one, and like from, once again, 2015. And that is because I went back and just started, I found out that I was binge watching everything on YouTube. Add everything to my watch list. This movie to my watch list. That video on my watch list. I've got over 4,000 videos now on my watch list. Let me repeat that. I've got over 4,000 videos in my watch list. That's crazy. And I'll never get to watch all of them. I don't even know why I save any of that watch list anymore. I don't know why I do it. Usually I'll save like 10, and then I'll go back to my watch later and watch those 10. but they still build up on top of each other. I still never get to all the ones that I do. So, but anyway, so what I decided to do is I thought, well, let's take a break from all those videos and just watch some of the videos that I've done in the past. And I'm telling you, I had so much fun watching the live streams from 2015 and the live stream from when I got my first Ibanez guitar, that Ibanez RG4EX1. I love that live stream when I was just sitting there the window and I had this bright white shirt on, just playing along with that, and the 1 year anniversary of that. I'd like to do a lot more of those type things where I'm talking. And in 2015, when I was talking about goals and writing and things like that, just sitting and discussing things, I really enjoyed watching that. And I thought, why don't I do that anymore? Why am I so afraid of doing a talking video? Why do I always have to have a piece of gear or a guitar in my hands to create a video? That's one thing that's been holding me back. And a lot of it is because some of these comments that I get that says, you talk too much. You don't need to talk as much. And I'm like, well, it's my channel. I can do whatever I want to. And I got to thinking, why am I worried about that? I want to talk. I want to discuss things. I want to get things out so that I can make more sense of them. A lot of times, like there's an old quote, I think, that says, how am I going to know what I think unless I see what I say? Something around there, you know, or hear what I say, or whatever it is. So a lot of this is, for me, processing things, getting things out so that I can process them, and I learn new things, and I can go back and watch these things, okay? And then the other thing that I thought about is I'm going to try, I found some little snippets of some of these old videos that I thought, man, those are still applicable today. And I thought, these are kind of buried now. Nobody knows anything about them. Who's ever going to watch these? And so I had the idea, why not create little snippets of those videos and re-release those in their own format? Because a lot of times there's a little bit of rambling in between points and people go off the video and they don't ever see the other spots. So the portions they don't pay attention to, why not repurpose those and release those as kind of a highlight? So I may be doing that with this video. I think there's a lot of good stuff in this video already, okay? So I may just do this as like a bunch of highlights down the road too, shorts or whatever. So that's an idea that I have. I want to do more videos like this where I'm talking and I can be more, you know, dynamic and talk to you people and be real with you. I want to maybe even sit down and read some of my journal entries. Maybe when I write a journal entry on my blog post, I can take that same journal entry, go on YouTube, read it for you guys, and then embed that video on that same blog post. Repurpose that content. One avenue I've never really wanted to branch out in, I thought about it because I like to talk so much, is podcasting. And I thought, well, I'd run out of things to say or, you know, some excuse, but I've never really wanted to go down that avenue because I've already got all this other stuff going on, YouTube videos and all this other stuff. I don't want to focus on producing more content in that sense, being an actual producer. I want to focus on producing content from scratch and getting it out of me to you, the consumer. And so, yeah, if I ever had any kind of podcast, I could repurpose this material for that. But that's not something that's really ever been on my radar. And I don't even know if I'd ever, I might down the road, but it's definitely not a priority right now. Not even in my mind. So stories, books, I could read that in some of the, you know, kind of live stream kind of thing. And show notes like these. Once again, if you haven't checked out the show notes, these are on the actual Trello board that I use for creating YouTube videos. All my ideas for YouTube videos are hosted on the Trello board. Now, you'll not be able to see the whole board, but you can see this one card. Okay, so go to the show more description below this video if you're watching later on, and wherever it is now on the live stream, there's a video, it's a Trello link, and it will take you directly to what I'm looking at right now, this huge outline. So that itself could be content for YouTube membership, bonus things like that. So it's everywhere. There's stuff everywhere around you that you can use. Okay, so for this last thing, I'm going to sit down because I just realized my feet are getting tired. I'm going to sit down and readjust this camera here. Oh gosh. Oh. All right, I feel it's two. Let's see if I can get it. That'll work. Okay, so last little topic here, conversation. Let's go a little more. There we go. That should do it. That'll work. Okay. Last little topic. Let me go here and get the time marker. Yeah, almost 2 hours. An hour and 50 minutes. So let me go to that. Probably an hour 51 by now. 51:05. Okay. Last thing I want to share with you guys is something I've thought about for a while, and I've considered to go ahead and do it. And I'll just get into this. There's a creative coaching service that I want to kind of offer you people for this new year. I don't know how long it'll be. I don't know how much, how popular it may or may not get. But there's an app that I've been working with for a little over a year with a private guitar group. And we've been going through different aspects of different courses and things like that. And this app has been amazing. I don't know if there's anything else out there like it. There might be. I don't know. It's relatively new, but it's leaps and bounds beyond just about anything else I've seen, and it's great for like hosting courses on, or like having master classes, or getting together for consulting one-on-one type things. And so I'm only right now pushing this coaching service to my email list, which I haven't announced it yet on there, but I've recently put a link on my blog and my website where you can consult with me. And that is available if you just go to ericbeatty.com/blog, or the About page, or any other main page besides the front page that you land on when you go to ericbeatty.com. If you just click any of the menu links, it should take you to any page. And the sidebar is at the very top, and it says consult with me on Volley. Now, I could withdraw this at any time if I get bombarded with a bunch of customers. But right now it's live, it's available, and I just recently uploaded a video, the intro video, so you can watch that video and see all about it, and kind of get an idea and the feel for the service itself. But I have 3 tiers that you can consult with me. There's an Ask Me Anything tier. And that's anything. This is creative consulting. This is not just for guitar. So you can ask me anything about guitar solos. You can ask me anything about writing, creative writing, self-publishing. I've done that. You can ask me anything about goal setting. This is the time of year for that. If you need a coach and a mentor for setting creative goals and working through that, I'm available for that as well. There's an Ask Me Anything option, anything kind of creative. If there's something there that you don't see, we could probably work something out. If there's something I can do, once again, all this stuff is available in that intro video. And like I said, I'm not leaving a link here because I don't want to bombard myself with a bunch of stuff with all my YouTube subscribers. Maybe eventually, probably eventually, I'll put it here if I decide to keep going with it. But for now, if you want to see it, you need to go to the blog, ericbeatty.com/blog, to see the Consult With Me on Volley link. And when you click it, it will take you to my Volley page where you can kind of decide which tier you might want to work with me at. There's a second option called Guitar Tone Guru. I've been fortunate enough to work with a guy out of, I think, Australia, to help him create Helix tones, and for actual gigs that he's used, and he has been very satisfied with my work on creating Helix tones. And now there's so much more you can do with the new cab update from Helix 3.5 firmware update. So if you need help creating tones, if you need some tips on creating tones, if you need me to create some tones that I can send them as files to you with Volley, then you can do that. Both of the first two, by the way, are time limited. The Ask Me Anything, I think, is 15 minutes, and the let me check right now. The Guitar Tone Guru is 30 minutes, so I can work with you for 30 minutes. And basically how this works is, and it'll show you, there's a whole thing up there where you can see how it works, okay? So you can see, you can click on that and see how Volley works on the top right-hand corner of this page. And basically, in a nutshell, we basically video chat back and forth. And one of the great things about this is, let me go back to my Trello notes. I think he says it's called asynchronous. Let me see. I think it actually says it on the page. It is asynchronous, yes. Basically, it means that you don't have to worry about scheduling calls. You don't have to worry about um, what I'm trying to say. You don't have to worry about scheduling. We don't have to. Can you meet me at this time? Can you meet me at that time? Like Zoom calls and things like that. It's not like that. It is, you send a video, it comes to me, I get notified, I get to answer that video anytime I need to. I send a video back to you. You don't have to view it immediately. When you get ready, you can send me another question up until that 30 minutes is used or that 15 minutes is used up. And it kind of goes over what counts as time and what doesn't count as time. I don't know exactly all the details on that, but I'm pretty sure documents don't count as time. Okay, pictures don't count as time, right? So once again, you can check that out, everybody.com/blog, and the sidebar. You'll see it on the sidebar. It's the very first thing. It says consult with me on Volley. I've considered other platforms like Discord, and then I've also considered PayHip because they have consulting options on there as well. But for me, Volley, and I may eventually go to PayHip. I don't know. It's such a great platform. But Volley right now for me is a game changer. And just to be able to pick up my phone, give you what you need, or it also has a desktop. It's for Mac and Windows, and you can, it may even be for Linux too. And you can do it on your desktop. I can record a video, upload it, or do my Volley on the video with my webcam and send it straight to you while I'm looking at, and I can screen share or whatever I need to do while I'm on my computer, showing you how to go through this process of here's how to build this tone, here's how to do this, here's how to do that. That's the kind of thing I like to do. I like to help people with their needs and with their problem points and things like that. So once again, that is the you go to the blog. You can also find that on the about page, everybody.com/about. That's the newly revamped about page where you can see even more details about some plans that I have for this year, specifically for the blog itself. Yeah, Volley, ask and answer at any time is what I wrote down here. You don't have to worry about scheduling or anything like that. So I have something that I probably might do a video on pretty soon, and this is, I've got a little note here to do a teaser about it, and that is in my bullet journal, and this is should be the last thing in my appreciate it. Oh, you're not going to run out of things to say. No, I'm not. Thanks so much for the comment there, Coach Red 123. Yeah, if you probably saw the Trello, you probably saw the Trello link. So yeah, there's a lot of things to say there. So I have something here that I wrote down because I kind of feel like this is what I need to focus on this year. And to be honest, last year I didn't really follow through. Last year was, for me, I wrote this down. Let's see, where's it at? It was the year of what I called pruning. I felt like I needed to prune back a lot of stuff. Year of pruning, okay? And I didn't really do that like I should have. I would go back and look at this and I'll be like, well, I'm not really doing a good job at all these. But this year I have something different. And a lot of this stuff I think matches up better for me. And a lot of this stuff I've already talked about on this stream. And so that is, this year, I believe, for me, what I'm feeling in my spirit, it's similar but not the same, and that is the year of reduction. Right here. Year of reduction 2023. And so what I may do is, you know, another one of those live stream things, just sit here and talk about this on a different live stream. I do have another video in the works that I have written about and did some notes for on Trello. One thing that really did work is a little checklist that I made, and it's not a checklist, but it's a chain calendar. You ever heard of "Don't Break the Chain"? Kind of Jerry Seinfeld got that kind of popular with writing a joke every day and trying not to break the chain. You can't hardly see this, but this picture right here is it represents all the days I played guitar. Okay, and I'll talk about that, and I'll probably do a video on this because I'm pretty sure I will. Because there's one day, the longest streak I had was 70 days in a row, and that was during hunting season. And it's tough to do anything when hunting season is on. And so that's another thing I'd like to do a video on. But yeah, the year of reduction, I'd like to talk about that and kind of give you an idea of what I'm kind of seeing for this year. But I've kind of already done that already. And so this has been an awesome stream. I appreciate everybody that's come out. See, there's one viewer left. I don't know if it's still you, Coach Red 123, but I appreciate everybody that's watched. And once again, if you got this at the very last minute, go back and watch it. Check that YouTube cog wheel down here in the bottom right hand corner and increase the speed, the playback speed, to about 1.5. You can get through it a lot quicker if you can keep up. I watch just about everything in 1.5 to 2 times the speed anyway, especially if it's a talking video. So thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to worry about inserting videos here at the end. There might be, probably will be. So if there are, please check those out. But that's what I want to focus on this year. I don't want to worry about chasing so many things that I've been chasing, and I want to just lay back and relax and enjoy the ride, enjoy the process, enjoy the creativity, and take you along with me. And that's what I hope to do this year. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, everybody that has. I hope you get a lot out of this video. And once again, I hope it gets a lot of views, because I think it's got a lot of great, insights for everybody. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. At least it helped me, right? At least I showed up. Coach Red, keep it up, Eric. Thanks. Thank you so much, Coach Red. I appreciate that vote of confidence. I really do. And so until next time, guys, Happy New Year. Have a blessed New Year. God bless.